What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of What Went Wrong. Today we talk about what went wrong with Fallout 4. If you're new to the channel, in this series I give my opinion on what were the flaws and problems or negatives in a game that was hyped up to be better than it actually was, or a game that's considered, amazing. IGN gave Fallout 4 a 9 out of 10. So, and this is also a game of the year for some companies. So, I'm giving my opinion on, what in my opinion is wrong about Fallout 4, why in my opinion Fallout 4 isn't that good of a game, and why it doesn't really deserve the praise that it got. And for a lot of people, they feel the exact same way. I've seen a lot of videos and reviews and opinions and people who are saying that Fallout 4 isn't the best Fallout game, even though IGN will give you the belief that it is. So what went wrong with Fallout 4? Fallout 4 was a game everybody had been waiting for. The second we finished Fallout 3, we wanted a Fallout 4. The second we finished New Vegas, we wanted a Fallout 4. There was no game RPG fans wanted more from Bethesda than Fallout 4. Then it was announced. Now, I pre-ordered the second they opened up the digital pre-orders after E3, as well as a lot of people who, get the game's very well sold. So the game out the gate was going to be a complete success. The hype was real. Everything was going good for Bethesda. We were finally getting that game we wanted from Bethesda for so long, and we just couldn't wait for that release. Then it released, and it wasn't what we thought it would be. It had the Fallout name in the VAT system, the core things that make Fallout, but it wasn't the same game. It was missing something. It didn't feel like that an RPG nor a Fallout game. It felt dumbed down. Exploring a post-apocalyptic world didn't feel the same. There was false length of gameplay created by having to spend time building up settlements. That was a cool idea. We first heard about it. We first saw for Century Hills. You just rebuilding, the city, the town that your character starts off in. You're rebuilding that. But then you have to rebuild other settlements and more stuff, and it was kind of more of a chore than anything else. Similar to that of Mass Effect 2's, planet researching. Like, after a while, you're just like, oh, this is kind of boring. I don't really feel like, exploring all these planets and just, drilling and sending probe after probe after probe. It felt like it was just making the game a little drag. And the same thing's here with Fallout 4. All this settlement building was more of a drag than anything else. It was a chore. The story was filled with plot holes and just overall not near as engaging or interesting as that of the past Fallout games. The game lacked the chaotic beauty of the past games. The graphics are not much improved in terms of the character models and weaponry. The maps look beautiful though, but just not the character itself and things of that nature. The character models seem emotionless. Hell, when in dialogue, the character reaction doesn't even change based on anything. The voice actor will be screaming in panic or peril. You'll get that sense from that person's voice that this is a serious situation. They're feeling very emotional, but the character model doesn't change. It's just standing there with no facial expression change at all, just looking like a doll with a panic voice behind it. This broke immersion, making you miss the dialogue in the previous game, because even though your main character wasn't voiced, you didn't have to deal with that immersion breaking moment of a character screaming in panic, but your character just standing there like, yeah, okay, donuts. Hell, even the early days of the franchise was better with the emotionless than the emotionless character of Fallout 4, when they used claymation, as the character models to show people talking and things like that. But then there's the factions that you have to choose between that doesn't compare to that of the choices you have in New Vegas. In New Vegas, the factions you picked had weight to it. You walk into a Great Khan territory wearing NCR gear, you're going to get lit up. You can't just walk into a Great Khan territory when you're signed with the NCR, you're wearing NCR, clothing. Walking into the Brotherhood of Steel Outpost wearing synth gear in Fallout 4, nothing happens. You can side with one faction and still do missions with the other factions until the very end of the game, where you have to actually choose a faction to represent for that ending. Hell, the Minutemen are basically irrelevant the entire game. You can finish the game with any other faction in the game, and the one you don't pick will view you differently, but the Minutemen, regardless of what you do in the game, will always be the exact same. In the end, Fallout 4 is an average game. Hyped to be an amazing game. Ended up being an overrated shell of the Fallout series. It was nowhere near as good as New Vegas, nor was it as impactful as Fallout 3. Fallout 4 came out 2 years ago. I beat Fallout 4 just a few months ago. I've owned the game for 2 years without finishing it, because I wasn't having fun with it, because I felt like playing the game was a chore. The story wasn't engaging enough to me to just want to play the game. I had to force myself to beat the game a few months ago. Alas, I started a new playthrough a couple nights ago, and I installed a bunch of mods, and now I'm having fun with the game. Now I don't feel like playing the game as a chore. Mods have elevated this game to me, made it a better game than it actually was, which is a double-edged sword. It's good because it shows how good the community is at making content, making mods worth experiencing. It's bad because the game itself isn't good enough to be fun without the need of mods. And at the end of the day, Fallout 4 is just an okay game. The gunplay is great. Good customization for weapons in your armor. But an uninspiring story, a boring story, an inflated game length thanks to settlement building, emotionless character designs, and so on. That's what went wrong with Fallout 4. As someone who's a big fan of Bethesda, their games and the Fallout franchise in general are, have a big place in my heart. I love all the Bethesda's games, from Elder Scrolls to Fallout to Evil Within to Wolfenstein to their older games. I've always been a big fan of Bethesda, but Fallout 4 is a disappointment. That is how I feel about the game at this point in time. To me, it's just a very disappointing game when you compare it to the likes of the Fallout 3 and New Vegas, which are great games, amazing games, top tier games in the RPG community. But Fallout 4 fell flat, in my opinion. It has its reviews thanks to IGN and GameSpot and things like that. It has its award for Game of the Year. But in my opinion, someone who plays the games, not someone who's sitting on IGN writing an article and being paid to give a review, is disappointing. I've been Texas Archangel, the real undiscovered talent of YouTube. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. Be kind to one another, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.